Hey guys, this week I chose to do Case Project 6-5 Ringtones app, the 3-star one. If I sound a little bit down in this, I've had a fever for about 3 or 4 days now, and I'm just kind of out of it, and so I'm just going to try and get through this as best I can. But if I stumble, that's why. Uh, Ringtones app allows you to listen to 3 different ringtones using radio button controls for selection. Create an app that opens with a picture of a mobile phone and a title for 3 seconds. The second screen shows 3 radio button controls that display different ringtones, titles, and description for each ringtone. I took some liberties with the description part of it. Still falls within the client's, or in this case, the assignment's parameters. And I'll explain why I did that. Just made it look cleaner, honestly, if you dumb it down. Conditions, use your own images, free ringtones available by searching the web. I got my ringtones from Zapsplat. Part of their conditions for using the royalty-free stuff is that you include them with your license and everything, and this is me doing that. Zapsplat.com. Images, Adobe, free stock, and I just use Photoshop to create my logo, which is also my IC launcher. When a ringtone is playing, the other buttons should not be displayed. Each ringtone can play and pause on the user selection. I took this to understand as I originally thought that it was asking us to create like an expandable grid view with different media controls for all three. But after I thought about it for a while, I think I did this correctly, but I went off of the play and the pause using the radio button control, and we'll get into that. So let's go ahead. Here's my strings page. Not a whole lot to it. Just my text, so my titles for each of the ringtones, and then their descriptions, just some stuff I made up. And this is just, the names are just based off of the original files when I downloaded them. In order to get the MP3s uploaded, I created a raw folder in my res folder, and there's Bright MP3, Marimba MP3, and Piano MP3. And so that's how we'll refer to them. Okay, activity main. This is gonna be my or activity splash. I'm sorry, that was wrong. Uh, this is gonna be the splash screen that the app requested. I did have some trouble with my theme earlier. I don't know if it's just my UI here or something. Something's messed up. Either way, I got it working. So code, not really much to this, other than it being splash activity instead of main activity. For my initial activity, I guess, opening up. You're just going to have the image view and the text view up here. So the important part is the actual code of it. So the whole point was to get this to pop up and sit there for 3 seconds. So ignore this. I just don't like the little triangles it gives me. Um, Down here, I'll start. All this is just the normal stuff. Ignore this. This line of code, all it does is get rid of the action bar for this page only. I just had some issues, like I was mentioning earlier, with the theme. Here, I've set up my timer task, and I'm running this page for 3 seconds and then moving on. And so down here, you can see through 3,000 milliseconds or 3 seconds. Activity main, not a whole lot to this one, just another relative layout. Here's a text view. That's going to be important for later. So that's what I was talking about, my description. When the user clicks on one of these, this will change from invisible to visible, and it'll populate with the correct description based on whatever they put in here. So I've got my radio group and my radio buttons. The code for this, it's straightforward. Not really anything changed there. Well, actually, I will say, uh, the radio buttons I had to change to 320 for accessibility reasons. I don't know, but the radio group can match parent. It doesn't make any sense to me. But whatever. Let's get into the main stuff. So down here, I'm setting up my radio buttons and my media player. it's giving it. I told it to ignore this, but basically because I'm calling on my strings and whatnot, uh, it just gave me an issue there. Okay. All right, so here I am. I'm finding those resources for the radio buttons, and I'm doing the same thing with my text view ring description. It wanted me to replace all my on-check change listeners to Lambda, so I did that for on-click listeners to use them, and so yeah. Stop media resets the track so it doesn't play continuously, um, and it doesn't play from the last point. If the user leaves and comes back, it starts over from the beginning. If the media player is null, meaning that there is oh god. If it's not null, it says everything divisible, or is told to stop playing. Else, it runs through this list. I'm calling on that MP3 from my raw folder I made for Bright MP3 for this block, and I chose to do 3 code blocks exactly the same. I tried to do it with the switch statement, and I just confused myself or kept messing up, so this is the way I chose to do it. So I'm calling on the MP3 file and then starting it. I'm setting it to the only visible one. I'm setting the other two to invisible, ring description to visible, and then setting text to the correct description. And down here is the second code block, and it's going to be exactly the same, except this one's for marimba, and this one's for piano. We get down here to on stop, and this is, again, it's just telling it, calling on stop media. We go down here, stop, reset, release, null. And that's it. So let's go ahead and run it. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. And there we go. You see how that action bar is on this one now? Notice how that description popped up there on the bottom. That's all there is to it this week. Thank you.